forwarded your email. 15 minutes and lunch.
15 minutes and lunch. Almost an hour. Almost. Yup. It's a fourth of an hour. Yeah. Fourth? Yeah, fourth. 5 out of 6.
Okay, hands up top. All right, I'm waiting for Garrett. We have a lot of information to cover before we can play this game. So it's unbelievably important that we follow along and we move quickly. Okay, guys, as scientists, one of the reasons scientists collect data is so that students are able to construct a reasonable explanation. Students recognize that scientists base their conclusion or evidence in data from their investigation. So what we are going to do is we are going to learn about deer in their ecosystem. And what we're going to do is we, as a class, are going to try to emulate what a deer ecosystem might look like. And then we are going to collect data, and then we are going to make observations based off of that data. Does that make sense? Before we start, Deer in a Winter Anticipation Guide. Let me show you this first. Where are my paper passers? Marley? Molly, start passing these out. Everybody else, I want your eyes on me. Okay, guys. So what this looks like, which you'll all have in front of you in a second, this is before reading, and this is after reading. What we're trying to figure out is what you already know. Also, it's going to make you think about some of the things that you might think you know. And then once we take this little assessment, we're going to find out what is true and what is false. So does it matter too much before reading whether you get the questions right or wrong? Can somebody raise their hand and tell me? Sophie? It doesn't matter. What we're trying to figure out is what you might already know. Okay, guys, take a minute. Before we do that, let's read the instructions. All right, anticipation guides. Garrett, can you read what it says for direction number 1? Oh, Garrett, I'm sorry. Can you read anticipation guides? I'll read that, sorry. Anticipation guides are designed to help you think about what you already know before you begin to read. As you read this passage, your ideas may be reinforced by what you have read, or the ideas that you may have changed, or the ideas that may be changed by what you are to read. Direction number 1, Garrett.
Before you read the passage, decide whether you think that each statement is true or false. Circle your choice.
David, number 2.
Number two. As you read the passage, identify whether each statement is true or false, according to what you have read. Circle the answer.
And Marley, number 3.
What was your thinking changed or reinforced by what you read? If so, in what way?
All right, guys, go ahead. This should not take more than a minute.
True or false? Deer maybe yeah, sure. I don't even know
Before reading.
So, should we get something
Together? It's fine. I should have told you that. Guys, you can do this with your group.
I say true.
false?
What?
No, for the third one.
Doesn't matter. Just do your best. What does it say? Isn't that true? True? Okay, so you deer eat grass? What deer changes? What deer? What deer changes? Do you think the food that deer eat changes? Yes. Okay, hands up top. Guys, if you are not finished by now, I'm giving you 30 more seconds to finish up. It's getting a little too loud, so I was thinking that everybody was finished. If you're finished, please raise your hand.
Chris.
What was Chris doing?
Acting like a crazy man.
I just talked to him about that I'm going to start deciding who's going to stay with you and who's not.
Oh, okay.
So let's keep that in consideration. All right, now that we're done, can everybody open up your science books to page 123? Guys, what I was just talking about is we go over in instructions. It's going to be unbelievably important that we follow along. You know what, David? I gotta borrow that because I don't know where another copy is. You're gonna have to follow along with Molly.
Oh dear.
Okay. Once again, guys, I'm gonna ask you a few questions. Are you gonna shout out your answers or are you gonna raise your hand? All right. Have you ever seen a deer, Marley?
Yes, at my grandma's house, I see deer all the time walking around the parapet backyard.
Really? Where does your grandmother live?
She lives in like the woods in Colorado Springs. It's like right on the edge of Colorado Springs, and she lives in the woods.
So Miss Jones lives up in the mountains. Miss Jones, do you ever see deer?
I see deer almost every day.
Wow. When I was at
Lots of
when I
elk.
went to the outdoor camp with the 5th graders, we saw several deer. We saw deer right next to where we were eating dinner. They were right next to the glass. Molly, have you ever seen a deer?
I've seen a lot of deer because my grandparents live in Westcliff, which is basically straight flat in the middle of the Rocky Mountains.
Wow, that's a pretty area. Leah,
I do see deer because I have a condo up in the mountains,
really?
and we see deer. Well, I think we saw a couple deer. We also saw a moose.
Cool. And last person, Sam G.
So when I was going hiking, I saw a horde of deer, and also, sadly, when I was going down back to my house from camping, we saw a dead deer laying on the road.
Oh, that's too bad. Okay, guys, we need to move on. Guys, when I say we need to move on, it means to put your hands down. You could probably see one if you visited a salt marsh or an oak forest. Deer often come into the open meadow areas to find food. Do you think they might interact with the grass or other plants in the meadow area? So guys, the salt marsh and the oak forest, who were the experts on those? What groups? Good, so we know about those ecosystems really well because we became experts. All right, so tell me, how do you think the deer interact with grass or other plants in the meadows? David,
They eat it.
they eat it.
Of course.
Marley, can you
They what?
expand on that?
They sleep in it.
Maybe they use it for shelter. All right, Anybody else? How do they interact with the grass? Basically, they eat it. They use it for shelter, right? Rory?
Another thing that deer use the grass for is to have a soft sleeping area.
Yeah. So they use it for shelter to sleep in.
Also, can I say something about an experience?
No, because I already said we were done. Molly, is that a good idea? Okay, guys. If you were a predator of a deer, where do you think you would look for the deer?
Garrett, what are you doing?
Leah.
Like in meadows or near grass.
Yeah. Molly.
I would probably try to look for a place, more deeper in the forest, because if they because they're really shy
And Brooks, last one.
Well, I want to add on to Molly. You would probably look in the forest because you wouldn't want to, because you wouldn't want to look where in like a city.
So, I mean, if I was a predator, I think I would be looking in the meadow because I think there's probably going to be multiple deers in the meadow, correct?
Because they also use it for protection, because if when they're high, predators can't really see them.
That's good. Mr. McLean mountain bikes in a place called Deer Creek. If I can remember, I'll bring in pictures tomorrow. But when I'm mountain biking at Deer Creek, it's called Deer Creek Park. Every time I go up there, I see a deer. When Mr. McLean sees a deer, what else do you think he's looking for?
No.
Leah,
Maybe a predator.
maybe a predator. I've seen a lot of bears. And as soon as I see bears, I go as quickly as I can down the hill. So I mean, yeah, when you see other animals that are, what will we call a deer? Jake. Prey, or a
Consumer
and a producer. So when I see a producer, I'm aware that something might think of me as a producer. Isn't that smart?
Yes.
All right. So guys, I want to go to the next page, 124, and I'm going to start picking sticks. It's unbelievably important that you are following along. We have a lot to cover, so we can get to the game on Thursday. Tiana, can you please read the first paragraph for us?
Deer spend their days interacting with both living and non-living things. As they search for the food, water, shelter, and space, they need to survive. When all of these things are plentiful, and deer's interactions allowed to stay alive, avoid being killed and eaten by predators and reproduce successfully. In a year with plenty of food, water, shelter, and space, the number of deer in a herd speedily increases.
Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. If the deer have everything that they need, they're more plentiful. Daya, can you read the next paragraph for us?
Yes. In some years, however, less food, water, shelter, or space is available to the deer population. A drought might dry up the water supply, or a forest fire might burn all the plants. The deer need all the plants the deer need for food. Then the deer cannot get what they need to survive. Without water or food, the animal becomes stressed. Stressed animals, as well as very old or very young animals, are more likely to die from a disease or be killed by a predator, such as a mountain lion. In years, when resources are
Scarce.
the number of deer in the herd usually decreases rapidly.
Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. When resources are scarce, it's harder for them to survive. Also, when they're not healthy, it's easier for predators to attack them.
What does scarce mean? Garrett?
Scarce means like not very little, like not very many.
Okay, good.
Okay, thank you, Miss Jones. Now we are starting to go over the game. This is unbelievably important. Before we go out, Mr. McLean's going to have step-by-step instructions that we will go through before the game. Right now, we need to pay attention to how the game is played. Kaya, can you start under the game of Oh Dear?
In lesson 6, your class will play a game to find how much the size of a herd of deer could change each year. Some students will pretend to be food, water, shelter, or space that the deer need for survival. A few students also will pretend to be a disease or a predator that can attack and kill a deer. Each round of the game will represent 1 year.
Good job. Thanks for reading so loudly. Chris, next one.
Okay. Each year the deer will search for food, water, shelter, and space. Those food
Chris, can you speak up a little bit,
Any
please?
deer that do not
Thank you.
find what they need will die. A few deer also might die each year because of interactions with predators or disease. During the next round of the game, the deer that died will become resources for the remaining deer in the herd. At the end of each round or each year, the class will count how many deer survived. Each year's count will be written down on a chart.
Guys, this is very interesting. So we're going to play 10 rounds of the game. The whole point is to record data so we can try to emulate a ecosystem with deer. Now, if we're having problems behaving, do you think Mr. McLean could just take his chart and write 10 numbers down? Yeah, of course I can. I could just make them up. So that's why it's unbelievably important. I don't want you guys to ruin this for any of your classmates. Jimmy, can you read the next paragraph, please? Jimmy, you know where we are?
No.
Okay, put an X on the board. Molly, can you read the next paragraph, please?
As you play this game, pay attention to changes in the size of the deer herd as the amount of available food, water, shelter, or space changes. When the game is over, be ready to discuss the relationship between the size of the herd and the number of resources available to the
Molly, great job. Akia, getting ready to play the game. Can you please start for us?
Getting ready to play the game. You and your classmates will count up, or your teacher will decide who begins the game as the deer, or as an available source. Those who are deer will line up on one side of the playing area, and those who are resources will line up on the other side. The lines will face opposite directions, so the deer cannot see the resources, and resources cannot see the deer.
Great job, Akia. So, guys, I will just have you line up in 2 lines, and then I will randomly pick who the deer and what line the deers are and what lines the resources are. What the deer do? Jake.
For each round of the game, each student who represents a deer decides to look for food, water, shelter, or space and make the sign to meet that need. Once the deer makes that sign, it cannot change the need it is trying to meet.
So is that understood? Once you make your sign, when you're a deer, you can't change it. Sam G, what do the resources do, please?
Before each round of the game, each student who represents a resource decides to be food, water, shelter, or space, and makes the sign for that resource. Once a resource makes a sign, that resource cannot change its sign. In addition, your teacher will select one resource to represent a disease and another resource to represent a mountain lion. Credit.
Okay, guys, signs. There is a different sign for each resource. Food, water, shelter, or space. What a deer needs to survive. Can everybody stand up? All right. Show me the sign for shelter. If you don't know, Look on your, good job. You guys are way above me. Show me the sign for food. Show me the sign for water. Show me the sign for space. Water. Shelter. Food. Space. We got this. Everybody sit down. Okay, I can go a little bit longer.
You just have a little bit. Otherwise,
I still have a page, 2 pages.
we probably need to revisit on Thursday.
Guys?
Because I want to talk to them about these.
Good job paying attention. We're going to finish this on Thursday. Thursday, I will need your attention again because we want to make sure we have enough time to go out and finish the game. Good job today.
Okay, before you clean up, while I still have your attention, Miss Norio dropped off some overdue book notices. She is saying that all of your library books need to be returned by tomorrow.